edition of On the Money with Secure Money. I'm Rebecca Powers. I was a longtime news anchor, and it is my thrill to be with the folks at Secure Money Advisors each week. Normally, it is our fearless leader, Brian Quaranta, but he is out of state right now. So we have Neil Major with us, who you do so much of the financial planning. Great to see you, Neil.
Great to see you, Rebecca. I'm happy to be here. Got some big shoes to fill because I know people just love Brian on the show. We get so many compliments every week about it.
He's amazing. We want to make sure that everyone knows about his book, okay? And this is absolutely free. There's a picture of Brian right there. Not right there. Okay, so you can go to onthemoneyoffer.com. And why do you put this in the mail, pay for the shipping and handling, put it in a gold envelope? Why do you take that expense, even if someone doesn't come into the office?
Well, we believe education is so important. And a lot of times, we're not sure people have the correct education about their retirement. Remember, it's a huge shift. We're going from accumulation to distribution. And everything starts to matter, how your investments are structured now that you're in distribution. Because remember, what do we know about the stock market? It goes up permanently, right? And we can look at a historical chart of the stock market. It goes up permanently, right? The challenge is, well, let's talk about the good thing first. The good thing is the market, if it's going down temporarily, which it does, and you're still working, well, you're still feeding money into the market and you recover much quicker because you're putting money into your 401k, your employer's matching it.
Yeah.
But when you switch to distribution, now you're pulling money out of the market, which means now you're going to lock in and compound your losses, right? And so the structure of your investments now matters because the losses now matter, right? And then number two is taxes, right? We've been told to save your money for a rainy day.
Yeah.
And when you save it for a rainy day, you can pay the taxes later because taxes will be less in the future. Well, all of a sudden, that might be shifting. We have $36 trillion in national debt. We have $1.8 trillion being added to that national debt each and every year. And so the tax planning becomes so important because you got this big bucket of money. It's never been taxed before. And here's the catch. You don't know if 100% of that money is yours, 90%, or 10%.
You have a silent partner. It's called the
silent partner.
Federal government.
Silent partner. And so that's why tax planning is so important. So you got the investments, there's really important as you shift from an accumulator to a distributor. You got the tax planning that becomes so important because you have this big bucket of money that you've never paid taxes on before. You need income, so you need a strategy to make sure that you can go. That's what people want to do. They want to go when they retire and knock out the bucket list. That costs money. You want to make sure that you have a health care plan in place. And then when the good Lord decides to take you home, you want to make sure that the money goes tax efficiently to your beneficiaries. So the focus of the book is really coordination of the plan, right? That's what's so important, is making sure that everything is working together to give you the outcome.
Because things definitely affect each other.
Absolutely.
That leads me perfectly into this question from Peters Township, Stephen and Julie. Stephen is 62, Julie is 60. Thank you for your question and for watching. They ask, what's the best way to minimize taxes when passing on our IRA to our children? Great
question.
Yeah.
You're thinking about it.
Right.
Don't pass money in an IRA.
Oh, okay.
That's the least tax efficient money you could pass to your child, right? And there was a big tax law change in 2020 called the Secure Act. And most people think of the Secure Act, they think of it as the change in required minimum distribution age, because the RMD age went from 70 and a half to 72 to now 73, and it's going to 75. But that was the minor piece of the Secure Act, Rebecca.
Okay.
The major piece was how the stretch IRA rules were changed. It used to be that if your beneficiary inherited an IRA that they had a lifetime to inherit the money, okay? Now, the new rules say they have 10 years to inherit the money. 10 years. That is a huge shift. That's why tax planning becomes so important. So you got 10 years now. Let's say that you pass away. Your child is in their prime earning years. So they're making a lot of income. Now they inherit mom or dad's or both IRA, and there's $1 million in this IRA. Well, now they have only 10 years to get the money out of that retirement account, which means with market return, plus the withdrawals they're gonna have to take, you're looking at maybe $125,000, $150,000 a year they're gonna have to add to their income, pay ordinary income taxes on, and they might be given a large chunk to Uncle Sam. Because remember, we talked about the national debt. Remember, in the 40s, the highest federal tax rate was 92%.
92%?
92%.
I've never heard that.
That's why I say,
how did anyone live?
What if you only left 10%, right? You had this $1 million, but your beneficiary only got 10%, right? And that's why planning is so important.
And you think you're helping your child by giving them that $1 million, but you could, like you said, hurt them by pushing them into a higher tax bracket.
Correct. And you know, what people don't understand is, I would say about 90% of people don't understand how federal tax brackets actually work.
They change so fast. That's why we need someone who understands it.
And they're progressive, right? A lot of people don't understand that. They think if they go $1 more into a higher tax bracket, well, their entire income is going to be taxed at that tax bracket. And that's not how it works. They're progressive. So you're going to pay a little bit on this money, a little bit on that money, more on that money. And what you need to understand is a lot of times people overestimate what their federal taxes actually are. And so why I tell you that, Rebecca, last year I had a client, and between Social Security, pensions, and IRA withdrawals, they had about $100,000 of income. And they needed that $100,000 to live off of, to do the things that they wanted to do, to enjoy retirement. And that's great. Yeah. But as planner, what I see is within the 12% tax bracket, I have about $45,000 more that I can convert from traditional IRA to Roth IRA, pay the taxes now, and I'm only paying 12% on that conversion. Wow. 12%. That's a steal of a deal, in my opinion. So if you can pay 12%, that's a great place to be.
All right. We're going to take a very, very short break. We want to make sure you have time to go online on themoneyoffer.com. Get a copy of Brian's book. It is absolutely free. You can also get an appointment to come in and get a complimentary consultation. We say leave the checkbook at home. And I love it when you always say, and Brian says it a lot, our promise to you is that you will never be pressured to do anything.
Absolutely.
That's your pet peeve.
Really important.
So invite our friends to come in and kind of, what's the point of that first appointment?
Yeah, the point of the first appointment is just to understand your situation. So we're there to listen, to understand your situation, to understand what you're concerned about, what you're hoping to accomplish for the outcome that you're looking for. And so what we're there to do is understand what your income's going to look like, any potential red flags and taxes, and then the future with taxes, understand how your investments should be allocated, understand health care and long-term care, and understand how we're getting this money to your beneficiaries when the good Lord decides to take you home. The number one compliment that we get in our office is, why has no one ever shown me this this simple? So we can make it very, very simple. It doesn't have to be complicated, folks. What I instruct you to do, go to onthemoneyoffer.com, get a copy of Brian's book. You'll get a lot out of learning and understanding about retirement philosophy, and then schedule your complimentary review, your second opinion. You'll get a lot out of it.
Yes. All right. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
One of the biggest challenges people face when planning for retirement is simply knowing where to start. Over the years, I've sat with countless families who felt overwhelmed by all the information out there. And that's why I wrote my book. to cut through the noise and give you straightforward strategies to protect your money, avoid unnecessary risk, and build real financial confidence. Inside, you'll find step-by-step guidance on how to structure your retirement income, how to prepare for rising healthcare costs, and how to reduce the impact of taxes. It's not about complicated theories. It's about clear, actionable steps that anyone can follow. And here's the best part. I'd like to send you a complimentary copy of my book. No cost, no obligation, just real information that could make a difference in your retirement. This book has helped thousands of people better understand how to secure their financial future. If you're in that 5 to 10 year window of retirement, or you're already retired and you want to make sure you're not missing something, this book is for you. Call Secure Money Advisors today or visit us online at securemoneyadvisors.com to claim your complimentary copy today.
And for our new viewers, that is Brian Quaranta, who you just saw on the screen. He's the CEO and president of Secure Money Advisors, and he's the one that wrote the book, has the real heart for education. And Neil, you've really become probably the most senior advisor there, helping really implementing those beautiful plans. So Brian loves to hear from each and every one of you, so we're asking for your questions this week. So I'm going to jump into another question, if that's okay.
Absolutely.
All right, and this one's from Bridgeville, from Tim and Leslie. They're both 65 years old. Their question is, how do we make sure our retirement income not only lasts the rest of our lives, so important, but that it keeps up with inflation? They are, this is a good question. You've been watching the show.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, we've seen the price of goods change entirely, right? I mean, from 2020 to 2025, 2026, I mean, the price of goods has changed significantly. And we want to make sure a lot of things. We're not being too conservative with our money. We're not taking too much risk as we switch to distribution planning. And so it's a great question. Now, here's what I've found and understood about retirement is your first 10 years of your retirement is something called the go-go years. You want to go, go, go. You have this bucket list. You have the freedom of time. The kids should be out of the house at this point. In the go-go years, because you're so active in doing things, is going to require money, cash flow, right? And so it's super important that you build your cash flow. That's why we talk about the income planning being so important. We want to make sure that we have a strategy to give you income. Now, we don't ever want to say to you, well, let's turn off the income for a little while because of market performance. We always want to be able to give you cash flow. Now, after the first 10 years of your retirement, which is called the go-go, the next 10 is actually called the slow-go. And then what they call 80 and beyond is no-go, okay? So what we have to understand is the cost of goods is going to continue to go up over our retirement. A 30, 40-year retirement, the cost of goods is going to continue to go up. Now, Kiplinger's just did a study, though, and they said after your first 10 years of retirement, your income needs actually drop by about 20% because your go-go is now complete, where you might want to take this trip to Europe. At age 70, 75, you're not so much interested in the Europe, but you still want to go to Florida, right? So as things change, your income's going to change a little bit. So the most important thing that you can do is develop an income strategy. Number two, what we want to make sure that we do is not put all of our money under the mattress, right? We still need to take some market risk for long-term growth purposes. So we want to make sure that we have some money, what we know about the market, as long as we have something called time, we're going to get performance in the market. So we want to build some money that we have some time on. Now, we talk a lot about annuities solving the income, right? And what an income annuity can actually do for you is an income annuity can provide leverage. Leverage is really, really important when you're building your strategy for retirement, because though the income annuity might not have great growth, it produces great leverage of income.
Gotcha. And it also gives you the reason my husband and I did a fixed index annuity with half of our money, good advice from Brian actually, is because, like you said, you want that growth. But for me personally, it was the peace of mind.
It's the peace of mind.
I mean, truly not stressing. You know, in the stock market, we're guessing. We need that accumulation. But in this.
And we want that, right?
And it's a contract, a personal pension. That's why I personally like it.
You nailed it. And what we always want to have, Rebecca, is a baseline of income. Right. So if we know that we need X amount of dollars every month, we want to have pure predictability on that income. An example would be I had a woman come in, single woman. She makes really good income right now. She even helps support her mother. She sends her mother about $500 a month because her mother didn't do much planning and lives solely on a Social Security check. And you know, what she did is she's going to retire at full retirement age. She's 60 years old right now. So we have about 7 years before she retires. We know her Social Security check at full retirement age is going to be about $42,000 a year. And what we did is we took a portion of her money, and at 67, when she turns on the income annuity, she's going to get $38,000 of guaranteed lifetime income. Now, to her, that gave her the peace of mind knowing that no matter what happens in the market over the next 7 years, between Social Security and the income annuity, she's going to have $80,000 of guaranteed income. And that's a good baseline to fund her lifestyle. And what we had to do, we had to use about a third of her money at this point. So we can still keep 2/3 in stocks, but now she has an $80,000 a year baseline of income.
And I know you said she's single, but if she were married, when she passed, it would go to her spouse.
Yes.
Until they die.
I'm glad you brought that up because that's probably the number one question that we get.
Okay, good.
Is, well, I know the money all disappears if I die.
Insurance company will win.
Insurance company wins, right? That's not how it works, right? And we know that. But, you know, if you're a married couple, what we do is we set up the income to be joint lifetime income. So if you pass away, your spouse would continue to receive the income until they pass away. Now, when they pass away, whatever is left in account value will go to your beneficiaries. So you never lose control of the money. That's often something that we hear that people are confused about.
Yeah. All right. Okay, we talked about inflation. We've talked about income. We're taking your questions, Pittsburgh. We love you. During this quick break, please go online, onthemoneyoffer.com. Get a copy of Brian's book, very short, easy to read. A little birdie, his wife, told me that he's writing a second book. So not to pressure you, Brian, but there may be another one soon on the horizon. Get that book and invite our friends in, Neil, and mention how you also help them see their baseline. What's my risk? What are my fees? Where am I today?
Yeah, so it's a true second opinion.
Yes.
Right? And it's a coordinated strategy. It's not someone that's focusing only on investments, who's telling you to go see your accountant. Our job as planner, as a fiduciary firm, is the outcome. And the outcome includes the income, the investments, tax planning, legacy planning, the healthcare. They all have to be coordinated. A lot of folks might be missing that in their strategy. And that's what's so important about this strategy session in our office. We offer the opportunity to come in onthemoneyoffer.com, pick a copy of Brian's book while you're there. You'll get some good education, and also schedule an opportunity to come in for a complimentary Right Track review.
Yep, book is free, and the first appointment is also free. All right, stay with us. More with Neil Major and how you can secure your money, Pittsburgh.
Most people worry they'll run out of money in retirement. Are you one of them? After decades of working, you deserve peace of mind. Knowing your money will last 20, 30, even 40 years? Maybe you want to leave some for your family after you're gone. I'm Brian Quaranta, president of Secure Money Advisors. After getting to know you and hearing your goals, we build you a customized principal protection plan based on your unique needs. Focusing on 5 key areas of retirement, Secure Money Advisors helps you with things like income, investments, taxes, healthcare, and legacy planning. We can right track your retirement. Let us show you how. Visit our website or call us to schedule a free meeting today.
Welcome back. I'm Rebecca Powers here with Neil Major. He is in this week for Brian Quaranta, who, of course, we call him our fearless leader. He's so awesome. Hope you got a copy of the book and that complimentary appointment. Here's a question from North Hills, Douglas and Karen. Thank you so much for watching. They are 69 and 67 years old, Neil. Their question is, we want to ensure family harmony. What's the best way to discuss inheritance with our children? So important.
I love that. You know, the biggest challenge with money is a lot of times, well, it is very personal, right? And it's a very private matter.
Yes.
And sometimes maybe we don't share what we have or instructions. And I think, you know, it is important to share. We have a lot of strategy sessions with the entire family, so everything's understood. And a lot of times, if no planning's been done, there can become some fighting when mom and dad pass away. So I think it's really, really important that everyone understands what things are going to look like. You know, one of the things that we do for all of our clients is provide them a written game plan. And one of the instructions when we send this home with folks is how important it is to let your kids know where this is at in the house, right? So anything happens to mom or dad, look at the top right drawer of the desk and you'll find instructions. Page 1 in the game plan here is actually a letter to your kids saying, hey, before you do anything, give Secure Money Advisors a call, and they're going to help you sort through everything with instructions so you can be as efficient as possible with taxation. That's number one, right? You don't want to call up Charles Schwab and say, hey, I know mom and dad got $1 million there in an IRA. Can you send me a check? Right? So we want to be able to help you with the best ways to inherit that money. Now, obviously, it's your money. You're free to inherit it however you wish, but we want to give you instructions and guidelines. Now, one of the things that's also in here is life insurance policies, right? So we want to understand, you know, did mom or dad have life insurance? What companies we need to call to collect that money, right? And if you're not organized, what I've seen in the past is I've had kids come in and they say, well, I saw this policy, not sure if dad had it, I found it in his paperwork, and your kid's calling all these different companies.
I just don't want my kids digging through my drawers. You know what I mean? Think about that.
Yeah.
I have a best friend.
It's a little awkward.
Yeah. Hey, in this drawer, if something happens to me, make sure. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
But you're right. The confusion, the fear, it's unnecessary. Why would we do that by putting our head in the sand? It makes no sense. But it's human nature. We've all done that.
Think about, too, how busy your kids are, your beneficiaries, whomever they are.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, what part of a binder is about is getting organized.
Yeah.
We see at our office, it's unbelievable how many different investment accounts people have all over the place, right? They have an old 401k from this employer, an old 401k, a Roth IRA over here, a non-retail, everywhere.
Right. Small life insurance I bought when I had my daughter. I don't even know where that is. You know, I do now, but a lot of people don't.
And the challenge is that's not coordination.
Right.
And what we want to do is coordinate the strategy.
Yeah.
So oftentimes, you know, people will say, well, I don't want all my eggs in one basket. I want to work with you guys and another firm down the street. The challenge with that is what I've been preaching is our responsibility to you is provide you an outcome, right? And without knowing what that other firm is doing, it's tough to understand how we're getting to the desired outcome, right? We don't know what the investments are doing. We don't know what the tax strategy is there. Maybe those investments are kicking off some taxes that we don't want or need as we're trying to do tax planning over here. And so it's really, really important that we kind of corral everything, make sure that everything is being monitored and directed by us. And then that also helps the kids when the good Lord decides to take you home, that their life's pretty easy and they're not trying to track down money everywhere.
Yeah, and so to answer their question, I mean, imagine just having a binder, because you could be the not the bad guy, but you could be the one to invite the grown children in and say, this is your parents' plan, here are the assets, here are their insurance policies and everything.
I don't mean to interrupt.
No, go ahead, please.
Just going back, because I don't know if I fully answered their question.
No, you did.
If you think about, too, the second part of that is we see a ton of second marriages. And with second marriages becomes different challenges, right?
And adult children and stepsisters.
And sometimes, you want your money going to your kids, they want their money going to their kids. And that's fair, right? That's okay. But it's just making sure that it is a detailed strategy of who's getting the money so there's no fighting. And oftentimes what people want is, first of all, if it's a second marriage, they want their money going to their spouse first and then to their kids. And so it's just the planning. I think you had said it, planning to fail?
Failure to plan
right?
is a plan to fail. They drill that into you in the military.
Absolutely.
Failure to plan. That is such an excellent point about the second marriages that happened in my husband's family.
Yeah, people often ask us, how should we do this? And at the end of the day, this is your money, it's your decision.
Right.
Now I can give some helpful tips of what people have done in the past.
Right.
I had someone come in last week and it's his home. So she moved into his home. He has 2 kids and she's going, I'm worried because he wants the 2 kids to receive the home, but what happens if he predeceases me and I'm still in that home? Am I gonna be left out on the street, right? So the structure was, she's gonna be allowed to remain in the home as long as she's alive. There might be a little bit of rental income that she'll have to provide to his 2 sons, but there can always be, with thoughtful questions and strategy, good planning done.
And to be honest, you don't have to show your kids the plan while you're alive, because maybe that'll cause a fight. Do you have sometimes people say, here, my binder is here. If I pass, the phone number for Secure Money Advisors is there. And maybe they find out after the passing, but at least there is no way to go to court and fight it because it's all in your trust or your legacy, whatever you've created for them.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that's really what's so important about what we do, right? It's a coordinated strategy. It's the income, it's the taxes, it's the investments, it's the healthcare, it's the legacy. They all need to be coordinated to give you the outcome that you want. And onthemoneyoffer.com, go there, pick up a copy of Brian's book. It will be a nice, easy read for you, and then schedule a meeting. We'd love to see you.
I love it. And again, it is absolutely free. The book is free. The first appointment is free. Know your risk, know your fees, and know if you're on the right track for your retirement. We'll see you next time.